Hello, welcome to Fix Spacetime. In today's video we have an interview with Tory from the YouTube channel Overlook Horizon. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Can you tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name's Tory. I'm a software engineer. This is my regular job. And most people probably know me as the face of the YouTube channel Overlook Horizon, which Overlook Horizon's a 501c3 nonprofit charity here in the United States that I had founded a couple of years ago to try to get students and even adults interested in science and technology and DIY project, science projects at home and things like that. We started doing weather balloon flights, launching little computers and cameras up to the edge of space. Kind of had some crossover with space flight and rockets and things like that. And our channel kind of took off, and we've been trying to make it bigger and bigger and get try to spread the knowledge of space flight as much as I can.
Cool. Can you tell me a bit more about your channel and a bit more about why you created it?
Yeah, so I had originally created it kind of as it was just kind of a side thing that I did. So I had personally, as a software engineer, I wanted to I like doing DIY projects, and so when I was my wife a while ago had got me a little Arduino microcontroller, like basically it's like a credit card size computer, and it doesn't do anything. It's just a circuit board. You have to program it in order to do it, but it was great for software engineer like myself. But I had nothing to do with it, and I wanted to do like a real world project. The first thing I did with it was just kind of make an LED blink on and off, and I tried to show it to my wife. I was super excited. I was like, "Look at this!" And she was not super impressed. She was like, "Wow, that's great." So I figured I had to up my game and decided that it was really popular. People were sending weather balloons up with these things. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I love the technology part of it. I love space and all that. So I was like, let's do it. So we sent the first one up there, and it completely failed. It was a disaster. Lost it. Never saw it again, and just made me want to do it more and more. And so I did the second one. We recovered it. Had a pretty terrible camera, but got some amazing footage from the edge of space. I was like, this is pretty awesome. We got to start doing more of it. And so I did a third one and a fourth one, and I started publishing them on YouTube. And people were getting really excited. They were like, that's kind of awesome. Can you teach me how to do it? Like, what do I need? What sort of regulations are there? What kind of tools? And so started making some little basic educational videos. And then we started getting people from like schools and classrooms reaching out to us saying like, can you teach our class how to do it? Parents would be at home, be like, oh, my kid really loves that. Can you teach me how to do that as well? And so we started making videos about it. And then I realized like as I was making these videos, I was making a lot of equivalents to rockets and launching, how you have to plan ahead. And when you release a weather balloon, like there's no undo button. So you have to make sure you test everything and everything's working correctly before you actually launch it. And so we started doing, I started hosting some of the like SpaceX launches and things like that. And then talking about rockets and space flight and kind of making the crossover between weather balloons and rockets. And the space flight stuff took off quite a bit. And we started doing more and more educational videos about space flight. And that's kind of how it took off from there. And now I love the community. I love meeting new people and things like that. Like yourself. So
Thank you. So um, where did you learn about and what? Where did you learn all about all about the things to do with space and to do with rockets and weather balloons?
a lot of it's just been on my own research. So like I'm not an aerospace engineer. But I am a software engineer. So I've got some sort of a technical background, but it's not in rockets or weather balloons. But the weather balloon stuff, like I just wanted to learn that myself so that I could actually do the project successfully. Obviously, it didn't go so well the first time around, but after that, I really got into it. And then the rocket stuff, like I said, I was finding myself using rocket examples to explain weather balloon stuff. And then I just got more and more into it, and I love reading like the details about how things work. And then, kind of my channel is always about basically simplifying the complicated processes and trying to convey that to the average person. I look at I use my wife as a good example for a lot of this stuff because she likes space flights, but she doesn't know when Starship is launching. She's not paying attention to that. So I plan to explain things to her, or how I explain it to my own. I have 3 kids of my own. How I explain stuff to them, and then I try to convey that in a video. So like I love to research that stuff and learn more about it. I love to just keep learning. So a lot of it was just self-taught. So that's kind of how I get into it. I look up to a lot of the other YouTubers that are out there that are, the Scott Manleys of the world that are combing through, all sorts of research documents and things like that, and kind of take inspiration from them and do the same. I spent, I don't know, all day yesterday or the day before reading through like the NASA HLS documents for the human lander system, just trying to become familiar with that. And that's how I pick it all up.
Okay. Do you think the present space exploration is a good idea, or do you think we should be focusing on things down on Earth like climate change?
Yeah, that's a good question. I get that a lot about people that say like why we're going to space instead of focusing here on Earth. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is most of our space flight stuff is actually done to benefit us here on Earth. Like there is the kind of exploration part of it where it's like, oh, cool, we landed somebody on Mars, but it's the process of getting somebody to Mars or getting somebody to the moon that advances all kinds of technology and all kinds of understanding of our own planets. I mean, most of our understanding on things like climate change came from space flight and satellites that were up there and comparing our planets to other planets and looking at planets like Venus and Mars and how carbon dioxide plays such a big role in those planets. So I think understanding how our universe works and even just our close neighbors work and how space in general works and how we can operate in space has really huge impacts and benefits to even just the average person that isn't involved in space flight. The technology alone, the miniaturizing of different pieces of technology that just has to be done in order to achieve space flight and space travel. Because weight is such an important factor, size is such an important factor, and we go through all of that, and it really does benefit us here on Earth. I think it's really hard to kind of quantify that and show it to people to say like, well, if we do X here on Earth, we get Y benefit. That's really, really hard to do. But in the overall grand scheme of thing, I do think it will help with things like climate change here on Earth by advancing space travel.
Okay, so do you think having more people on different planets is a good idea?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think any of that kind of stuff um, that's continuing our, making space travel and space flight more routine is just going to help make those developments and those advancements faster. I mean, I think there's the whole making humans multi-planetary, which is Elon Musk's big goal. I think that's certainly an amazing aspiration to have. I'm hoping that we see humans on Mars in my lifetime for sure. But I don't, whether we have an entire civilization there might be some years off. It'd be great to see. But yeah, I think in the long term, I think it would be fantastic for us to have a permanent presence on the moon, on Mars, and who knows, maybe we go farther than that. But yeah, I think in the overall picture, the sales pitch to the average person is making space travel easier, more routine. It's just going to make those advancements come faster, and those benefits people are looking for here on Earth are going to come faster because we're developing those things at a more routine pace.
Okay. If you could choose any rocket from history at all, any, what one would you choose to go to space in?
Oh wow, that's a great question. It's going to have to be one of the older rockets. Like I'm either an Apollo guy or a Gemini guy. Like I think if I had to pick one, I think I'd probably pick Apollo just to have a little extra space in there. Plus, maybe get a chance to go to the moon. I think that would be a lot of fun. But I really love those older rockets. They don't quite have the tech. As a tech guy, like they don't quite have the technology that we have today. But there's a special place in my heart for Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, probably because I never saw them. What wasn't around for those days, but I love everything about that era.
Okay. Do you have any other hobbies other than space flight and weather balloons?
Yes. I laugh about that because everybody that's on like my Discord knows that I have a million hobbies, which is probably my biggest weakness because I have too many hobbies. I mean, I do a lot of like photography and videography stuff. It kind of goes hand in hand with the YouTube channel. I'm a big hockey guy. I've played hockey for a long time. I've been a hockey referee for 23 years since I was 11 years old. I started as a hockey referee, so I'm big into hockey, big into photography, videography. And then I do a lot of technology stuff as just a hobby, whether it's the weather balloon stuff or even I think I have probably like 12 Raspberry Pis around the house that do all kinds of things from got my own home weather station. I got weather balloon tracking devices that track the National Weather Service. I've got an antenna that communicates with one of the GOES weather satellites to download images from Earth in real time, which is kind of cool. So I do all kinds of tinkering and whether it's 3D printing or all that. Like I got a bunch of them, but I guess I'd probably say the biggest ones are maybe photography and hockey. Those are probably outside of what people see on YouTube.
Okay. We asked you what got you interested in space. What got you interested in weather balloons?
I don't know. It was kind of a surprise. It was really just the technology that I was interested in. I was just interested in the Arduino and the Raspberry Pi, and I just couldn't figure out what to do with it. And so I was like literally just Googling around like Raspberry Pi projects, Arduino projects, and there's a bunch of people in like the UK that do them very, very regularly. I think it's a lot more popular in the UK than it is here in the US. And I saw there's a guy named Dave Ackerman that he's done like, I don't know, hundreds of weather balloon flights. And I saw a bunch of his stuff and I was like, yeah, I love that idea. I love space. I love science and technology. Like you're telling me I can run a poor man's space program right here in my backyard and I get to pretend that I'm part of NASA and that I'm, running a countdown. Like sign me up. I'm in. This sounds fantastic. So that's really what got me into it. It was kind of just like, I wanted to do the tech part and I found this thing with weather balloons that incorporated space. I was like, great, this is fantastic. Everything I love. Let's do it.
Okay. What's your plans for the future regarding your channel? Do you think you'll carry on with what you're doing now, or do you think you'll ever stop?
Yeah, I don't have any plans to stop as of right now. I mean, my schedule's been very busy the last couple weeks, so I haven't put out as many videos as I would like to. But definitely have plan. I'm always trying to improve the channel. I would love to make more content. That's always easier said than done. But I love actually making the videos and publishing them. Sometimes I spend too long doing that, but I would love to try to get them out faster, but without sacrificing quality. So yeah, I would. And I used to go. I've been to NASA twice during their NASA socials to do like in-person rocket launches and try to incorporate that into the channel. I would love to do that more. I was going to do it last year, and then the whole pandemic situation hit. I would love to do it again this year, but I'm still not ready to go traveling around the world yet. But I would love to start doing more on-site stuff. Love to go see Starship in person, do some video content around that, share it with the audience. So yeah, that's kind of the plans for the future. So get some more on-site stuff and try to get more content published.
Okay. That's all the questions I've got for you today. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It's great to meet you, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Thanks, Felix. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.